Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Alex, back with another video for you. If you're new to the channel and love anything Raiders, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, let's get straight to the point. The Las Vegas Raiders finally ended their 10-game losing streak after beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're now 3-12 for the season, and the Raiders went from having the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to now holding the number 6 pick. I know a lot of fans, including me, are a little torn about this. Honestly, if we were going to win games, I wish we'd done it a couple of months ago, not now. This win kind of feels like a meaningless victory. And I want to address some comments I've seen about players not tanking. People were saying that you can't ask players to lose on purpose. Look, that's not what I was asking for. I get where they're coming from. NFL players have short careers, on average just about 3 years. That's why the NFL stands for not for long. I totally understand why these players are giving it their all. Players are out there trying to make big plays, whether it's getting an interception or making a huge defensive stop. That's what they're focused on. But from an organizational standpoint, when the Raiders were 2-8, 2-9, or even 2-10, I feel like Mark Davis, our general manager, Tom Tesco, our head coach, and Antonio Pierce needed to come together and plan for next year. At that point, we were already mathematically out of playoff contention. It seemed like the perfect time to focus on the future, maybe embrace the idea of tanking, and give some younger guys a chance. Let a guy like Aiden O'Connell or even Desmond Ridder get some time under center. We've got young players like Dylan L. at running back and Amari Gaynor, a hungry linebacker. Sure, they might not be ready to start right now, but at that point in the season, when it's clear the season is already lost, it could have been a great opportunity to evaluate what we have for the future. I really feel like something is missing with the Raiders right now, and I think that's part of the disconnect between Antonio Pierce and the fan base. But honestly, it's not really his fault. The topic we're talking about here is the uncertainty around Antonio Pierce's future with the team. It definitely seems like he understands the situation and might already have one foot out the door. Something interesting happened after the game. He was asked about the Raiders moving from the number 1 pick to the number 6 pick. Take a listen to what he said. "Coach, for the part of Raider Nation that's focused on the first overall draft pick, what's your response to them?" His response was very interesting. To me, it says a lot. It definitely felt like Antonio Pierce's answer had a little bit of tension, and it made me think that maybe he sees the writing on the wall. He probably knows that his time with the team might be coming to an end, and just like the players, Antonio Pierce has to look out for his own future. In this situation, Antonio Pierce has to think about what's best for his future. At this point, he probably wants to win as many games as possible, but if he knows he's not going to be here next season, he might not care about the draft pick anymore. If Mark Davis hasn't reassured him about coming back next year, that's probably how he sees things. You could also argue that Antonio Pierce is auditioning for other teams, whether it's for a head coaching job, which, if he's fired by the Raiders, would be tough, or maybe as a linebackers coach or defensive coordinator elsewhere. Either way, it's clear that the situation with Antonio Pierce has been really strange the last few weeks, even the last month. Mark Davis recently said he hasn't made a decision about the head coach for next year. He also mentioned that Antonio Pierce will be evaluated separately from our general manager, Tom Tesco. So, while I'm just speculating here, it looks like Tom Tesco might have another chance to stay as the general manager next season. With Antonio Pierce, it definitely seems like his future is up in the air. One thing I've noticed is that he's very blunt and honest in his post-game interviews. For the most part, I like this about him, but sometimes he says a little too much. There have been times when I think some things would be better kept in the locker room. Like when he spoke openly about the Davante Adams trade situation, it felt like he was giving away too much information. But when he was asked about the draft pick, he didn't hesitate to answer. He straight up said, "Ask Tom Tesco about that," making it clear he doesn't really care about the draft pick. His job is to coach the team and try to win as many games as possible. Personally, though, this whole season just hasn't felt right with Antonio Pierce as the coach. It's almost like he's not fully himself. I'm not sure if it's because he's got too many advisors on the coaching staff or if he's on a short leash, but something feels off. That being said, we can't completely let him off the hook. At the end of the day, he's the head coach. He's said multiple times that he wants to win games, but he's the one who made the call to start Garbers over Aiden O'Connell. Plus, there have been plenty of times this season when he's mismanaged the clock or made poor decisions during games. So, while he's done some good things, Antonio Pierce isn't perfect as a coach. I just feel like there's a real disconnect between Antonio Pierce, Mark Davis, and Tom Tesco. It almost seems like both AP and Tom Tesco are fighting for their jobs. And like Mark Davis said, they're both going to be evaluated separately, which is kind of strange. If I had to guess, I don't think Antonio Pierce will be our head coach next season, but I really want to hear what you all think. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Antonio Pierce's comments after the game and whether you think he'll be around next season. Raider Nation, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. That's all for today's video. If you're new to the channel and love anything Raiders, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.